A new episode of Legends of Tomorrow saw the team thrust into the middle of the Vietnam War. And Mick Rory had a long overdue reckoning with his past. This week's episode opened in the jungles of Vietnam in 1969. A group of American soldiers was taken out by a hulking unseen figure. Back on the Waverider, Stein Victor Garber was frustrated to find that Sarah Katie Lotz was still stuck in the coma Nora Dark Courtney Ford put her in last week. Gray was also annoyed because he had been unable to find a way to separate the Firestorm Matrix. To get the group focused on something more productive, Ray Brandon Routh suggested the Legends fix an anachronism. Specifically, one that was interfering with the course of the Vietnam War. While posing as a group of photographers, Amaya Maisie Richardson's Liz Zari Tala Ash and Ray met An Diane Doan, a Vietnamese woman who was kidnapping American GIs and Viet Cong soldiers. Mick Dominic Purcell and Nate Nick Zano fell in with a unit of U.S. soldiers that were led by Mick's abusive father Dick. Aunt showed the Legends that the soldiers were being mentally reprogrammed by Gorilla Grodd to serve as his personal army. Mick was shaken when Dick saved his life and admitted to Nate that he regretted killing his old man despite hating him. In general, Mick serves as Legends comic release. Most days, he's more interested in getting smashed than saving the day. This episode went a long way to explain why that is. It made it clear that his self-destructive overindulgence is our form of self-medication. He feels an immense amount of regret about accidentally killing his parents. Welcome to the Jungle allowed Mick the chance to confront those emotions and finally gain a bit of closure. The show deserves a lot of credit for giving Mick some depth, and Purcell deserves praise for being able to handle such weighty material with aplomb. I swear, if I die today because of a telepathic gorilla, I'm going to very upset. Amaya's group learned that Grodd planned to assassinate President Lyndon Johnson as part of a plot to take over the world. Nate tried to stop Dick from launching an attack on Grodd's camp but was knocked unconscious. Appearing to have gone native, Mick went along with the attack. Amaya offered to take Grodd back to his own time, but negotiations fell apart when Dick launched his assault. Jefferson Franz Drama, trying to prove himself, attempted to save Johnson alone, but ended up getting the president stuck on top of a landmine. Grodd attacked the Waverider in hopes of commandeering the ship. Dick captured and planned to execute the Legends, but Mick was able to talk him down. Using the power of science, Jefferson got the president to safety. With some help from Sir Isaac Newton, Stein was able to fight off Grodd and a possessed Sarah. Knocked off the Waverider mid-flight, Grodd fell into the heart of a napalm inferno. One of the most interesting moments of this episode had little to with this week's main storyline. It was Ray noted how unlikely it was that the Legends had recently been running into their ancestors, parents, and younger selves. Given the generally contrived nature of the show, I didn't even realize the coincidences were intended to be an ongoing subplot. That said, the idea that someone or something is messing with the team's personal timeline is intriguing. Since the effect of these meetings has largely been positive, I'm wondering if the force behind the time manipulations is actively trying to counter Malice's influence. The notion that the Legends may be chess pieces in service of a larger battle between good and evil is very intriguing. Time to pay the entrance fee to the circus. Zira offered to take onto another time, but she wanted to stay and help her people. Amaya told Ray that her experience with Grodd made her believe she could redeem Kuasa Tracy I feature. Damien Dark Neil McDonough plucked Grodd out of Vietnam right before he died and recruited him into Malice's league. Sarah's experience with Grodd somehow got her out of her coma. While being light and fun is Legends' greatest strength, the show was well served by going a little dark with this episode. For one thing, the show's slightly goofy tone wouldn't have fit with a setting like Vietnam War. And it wouldn't have worked when delving into the backstory of a character as deeply troubled as Mick. Still, despite dealing with dark themes like the horrors of war and child abuse, this episode still featured a telepathic gorilla. It's nice to know that when the program tries to get out of its comfort zone, it doesn't lose the qualities that make it so enjoyable. It's nice to know that Legends of Tomorrow can tell stories that indulge in superhero hijinks, while also exploring real-life issues. Next week, Green Arrow, Supergirl and The Flash guest star in the final episode of The Crisis on Earth X crossover. Legends of Tomorrow airs Tuesdays at 98C on the CW.